Hi everyone, I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. I am a soul therapist and an intuitive that connects with the angelic energy, and these are your weekly messages. So these messages are for the collective. They are for each and every one of us, talking about what to expect out of this weekly energy. So I tune into my connection with the angels and connect with messages for us. What is it that we need to know? What is it that we need to understand? What is it that we can expect so that we can best navigate this week? And I also, at the end, tune in with the tarot cards to build upon the messages that we've already created here together, and to help to give you an even more comprehensive reading. So this is for each and every one of you. We're going to be talking about this week, what's going on, what to expect. It's a shift. Can you guys feel the shift in the energy? Can you feel that things are moving? I'm really curious. I do these videos live on my Facebook, and then I post them over on my YouTube channel. And I would love to hear from you guys in comments how you're feeling, how you're doing, whether you're responding to my YouTube video, whether you're responding to the Facebook. I would love to hear from you. How are you feeling? How are you doing? Are you feeling these shifts that are happening? I think that we have been in this place for quite some time where life has felt kind of lackluster, is the word that I want to use, right? Where it's felt like we haven't been fully living to our highest capacity, or we haven't been fully experiencing life in the ways that we know that we're capable of. Maybe it's been a long time. Maybe we at one point in our lives had been able to access that or had been connected to that, but we have felt really disconnected from that for quite some time. We've been doing a lot of work on ourselves for a long time. And I think that this has led us into some challenges and has created, not that we haven't been happy or that we haven't been able to experience joy or peace or to love the lives that we're living, but it's created this energy that has felt a bit lackluster. And I think in so many ways we've been consciously or subconsciously holding ourselves back. I think that's a really good question to ask yourself this week, is how have I been holding myself back? Or how have I been preventing myself from fully moving forward into the direction that my soul is calling for? How have I been holding myself back in that way? Or how have I been keeping myself stuck within a box that I no longer fit in? And honestly, this energy this week feels like this willingness to color outside the lines, finally, right? Where the lines that we've been stuck between, there's a willingness or a pull or a draw to begin to color outside those lines and to explore other things and seeing outside of the ways that we have been confining ourselves in so many ways. And maybe we needed to do that, right? Maybe we had to confine ourselves in ways because there was healing work to do, or there were things that we needed to connect to, things that we needed to understand. But to me, there's this shift this week where there's a new level of willingness to come back to life. And I really feel like we've now shifted into Gemini season. And for me, that's a big part of what this Gemini season is bringing, if we allow it, right? And I think that part of that is leaning into more enjoyment, more fun, leaning into having new experiences, getting out and choosing to live our lives in whatever ways we're feeling called to live our lives, as we are choosing to trust more deeply on this journey that we're being led, right? This is so important that we're doing that. And it's so important that we're allowing this energy now to allow us to focus a bit more on being more active, more social, in whatever ways we're feeling called to do that. There's also just this energy calling for us to, even if we're still feeling kind of stuck, even if we're not sure of the direction or the path that we're heading in, to continue to put one foot in front of the other and to allow ourselves to continue to move forward, to continue. Our soul is always guiding us. So we might not be clear what the end of that path looks like, but we are becoming aware of like what the next step on that journey is. And I think that there's a lot of trust required here, a lot of faith required here, because there might be a lot of clouds over the path. But I think that if we're tuning in and we're listening, it's showing us at least that next step in terms of how it is that we can begin to come back to life, how it is that we can begin to bring more sparkle, more joy, more happiness into our lives. There's a level of readiness here this week. And I think also part of that is coming in the form of some form of a confirmation, right? So while I'm saying that trust and faith is required, I also think that there's going to be a pretty significant confirmation that we are experiencing this week in some way, shape, or form. So this can be confirmation of something that you already intuitively knew, but weren't feeling quite ready to trust. This can be confirmation of, maybe a way that someone has not been honest with us. And that allows us to see how we need to move in another direction, or confirmation that an opportunity is the direction that we should head in, or confirmation that we already are heading in the right direction, right? Whatever that is for you, it's going to look very different. This is a general reading, so that's going to look very different for you on your own unique path. But watch for the confirmation, because I think that that is going to just help support us in that knowing that it's time for us to move either towards something or away from something, or maybe both, right? Maybe we're moving away from some stuff that we felt stuck in for a very long time, and we're moving toward something else. And this confirmation gives us that awareness that it's time for us to do that. It's time for us to move forward with things. It's time for us to live. That is, for me, in part what Gemini season is all about. And by the way, if you guys want more in-depth coverage of that, I do that every month in my membership on my monthly reading at claritybychristy.com. You can get yourself set up if you aren't already, where I do a really in-depth overview of the month ahead, what to expect, what are some of the important dates, and how you can sort of plan your month ahead and have a sense of what's going on with the energy throughout the month and how you can best navigate that. So check that out. It's only $9.99 a month, and I have so much other stuff up there as well. But we have that. We also have, I feel like this confirmation specifically is has maybe already happened, or is happening, or maybe it's happening. I feel like for some of us that'll be happening around the full moon as well. So we have a full moon coming up on June 3rd, and to me that full moon just feels like some form of inspiration for us to be ready for adventure, for us to start something, develop something. But again, I feel like it's going to be that prompting, like that awareness for us, shining a light on where it is that we haven't been living our life to the fullest capacity, and what changes we need to make for that. I think that we're going to be called to make some changes around that full moon, just like we usually are, right? I always say full moons tend to be about clearing for me and seeing the light in some way, having a deeper understanding of some things. And I feel like this is just like that further building of clarity, because I do feel like we're starting to feel more clear on things. The other thing, when I was connecting with the messages for today, I heard better than what you asked for, right? So that there are some things that we've been waiting on, some manifestations, some things that we've been praying for, some things that we've been asking for. And we've been asking for maybe some fantastic things, right? I've been talking to you guys for a long time about raising our standards, asking for more, having a bigger vision. And so I think that we've already done some work around this, but I also think that there's going to be room for some surprises ahead where things are showing up for us in a way that is better than what we asked for. And it might not be this week, because here's the thing. This is the other piece of what I was being shown, is that we have raised our standards. We do have bigger visions. We do understand that not only do we deserve amazing things, but we are and can create incredible things for our lives. But the thing with that is, when we're not settling, or when we're not just focused on manifesting just like these little things or lower vibrational manifestations, what happens is, like, there's more moving parts involved with that, right? It's going to require sometimes, not always, because miracles are possible all the time, right? But in some cases, it has more moving parts involved, which means that if you think about just the universe, God, whatever you want to call that, orchestrating everything for us, that's going to require more orchestration. That's going to be a more complicated orchestration. There's more moving parts involved. And so sometimes these manifestations take more time. And our job in the meantime is to work on our vibration, to work on being as connected to our light as possible, because the higher the vibration, the more quickly that we will be able to manifest the very things that we want. So that's really powerful. And I think that that's something to keep in mind, because I think that in some ways people are feeling really discouraged. Why hasn't this happened for me yet, right? But I think that we're going to start to also see the evidence that some things are happening for us, and that there is a bigger vision involved. And I just really like this energy. I think it's really nice and really beautiful. And you know what it feels to me like is almost like this reward on the other side of a lot of hard work. We've been doing a lot of hard work, and not that the work goes away, but this feels like a reward in some way, and I really like that. So speaking of a reward, coming to the cards, we have the Ace of Pentacles showing up first and foremost, right? That's the reward. That's the gift. That's the blessing. Hi, Gustavo. Nice to see you on here. That's the blessing. And it's really amazing. I'm very aware of like the doors here, right? And it feels like doors opening. And our job is to walk through them, is to embrace that, and to not think that some things are too good to be true, right? And we have to be willing to release the past and to set ourselves free from the ways that we have felt stuck or confined. We have to be willing to allow it, but I think that we are. I think that we're ready for that, right? And so I think that this is us accepting the very manifestation of our prayers, the very manifestation of the things that we've been wanting to create. So I think that there's some serious magic happening for us this week. Four of Swords in reverse, a willingness to put ourselves back out there in whatever that means to you, right? Because that can mean so many different things, but you'll know, where do you need to get back out there? Where do you need to experience life again? Where have you been holding yourself back and letting yourself now move differently, move forward? The next card that we have here, speaking of moving forward, is the World, right? Allowing some cycles in our lives to come to a close. And that's not to say that there won't be fear around that. Of course there's fear around allowing things to close out, but we have to allow it, right? Because here we are with this Queen of Swords, being willing to cut out what no longer belongs in our lives. And I think that we're becoming very aware of that here in this week. I'm seeing a comment. Let me see if I can get to that. Oh, no, we just have a scammer. Don't pay them your money. They love to go underneath the comments and try to scam people. So anyway, we are clearing clearing things out, right? And releasing and letting go and allowing cycles to close. And I think that there's like a new level of readiness for that this week. And will we feel 100% ready? Probably not, right? But this is a one foot in front of the other, and being willing to lean into it. That was the other thing that I heard that I forgot to mention, is just like some kind of a willingness to lean into something. Whatever that is, whatever's showing up for you that you're feeling drawn to, you're feeling pulled to, leaning into it and seeing where it leads us. The next card that we have here is the Eight of Swords in reverse. We are setting ourselves free from a prison of our own making, right? We are setting ourselves free from, typically with the Eight of Swords, it's about our thoughts, our beliefs, our worries. And it's amazing the way that we can keep ourselves stuck with our own thoughts, with our own beliefs. And so I think that there's an expansiveness to this energy where we're willing to believe different things. We're willing to expand our minds. We're opening to new possibilities. And as we do that, we're setting ourselves free from the ways that we have felt stuck for a long time. And speaking of that, last card that we have here is the Ten of Wands. We have the world, we have the Ten of Wands, right? There's a closing of a cycle. There's an ending. I would guess a lot of this happening right around that June 3rd full moon, but definitely throughout this week, right? Where we're releasing certain burdens. We're recognizing, you know what? I've carried that for far too long. This is something I'm not willing to carry anymore. This is a burden that I'm not willing to bear anymore. And in that decision, we set ourselves free, but we also release the heaviness. We release the weight. We release the things that have been keeping us stuck and held back and confined. We color outside the lines, right? And I'm really excited about this energy. I think that this is going to be really, really beautiful. I would love to hear from you guys in comments below if you're already feeling some of this energy, how you're feeling some of this energy, what you're excited about in this energy. I just always love to hear from you guys. It also just helps to support the channel. If you guys are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please make sure that you subscribe to that. Please like this video. Please share it as you feel called, or tag someone below that you think that would connect with these messages. I know there's people out there that need to hear these messages, and you guys are helping me with that by sharing, by commenting, by liking. It helps for these videos to be seen by more people, and it helps for these messages to get where they need to be. So thank you guys so much for your support, and I hope that you have a really amazing week. I think it's going to be really incredible and freeing. Take care, guys. I'll see you soon.